Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over how to automate the Spectrolus flower. But first we're going to need to put a system together in order to organize our wool, because in these chests it's kind of a mess right now. So what we need to do is come over here. We can get rid of the wand. Let's get our corporea funnels. So we're going to place down our corporea funnels above the chests. Put a gap in between them if you want to be able to see inside the chests. We're going to run those over top of all of these double chests like that, so at least one funnel above each chest. Next, you're going to go along the sides, place down your item frames like that. After that, we want to place down our corporea sparks. Now this links it up to the system, so if you do have your wand, you click on this and it'll give you like a particle effect that what am I trying to say? Anyways, let's place down our repeaters right along here, all in the same direction. We'll show you the wand thing in a second. We're going to build 4 blocks out here, put 2 more repeaters. Next, you're going to need your hourglass and some sand. So place down your hourglass, then that. I'm going to use red sand because it has a longer time period, so each red sand equals 10 seconds. While that's doing its thing, we're going to set this up here. So we're going to click the white wool into the item frame and then click it 3 times over. Same thing with all of these. That way it pulls 8 items out of our wool storage over here into this organized, better system. So we're just going to do this all the way around. Let's grab our next set. So another thing you can do with this, if you would like, is you could place repeaters down next, or not repeaters, but comparators along all these chests, and then lights, so you can see a visual system as if one of your wool is out, but it's not necessary for this because we do have a system that we're going to build later on that shows exactly, well, it doesn't show, it's going to shut off the Spectrolus Automation if you don't have the right color wool in these chests here. So anyways, on to the next part. Alright, moving on to the automation part, we are going to place down ice like this in a pattern like so. So you're going to have a piece of dirt here for your Spectrolysis. We're going to go 8 blocks down. So 1, 2, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like so. You're also going to need some couple of dirt blocks here for your flower, or your, I forget the name, I'll show you in a second. So we're going to go up, daffodil, that's what I was thinking of. We're going to go up with open blocks, or open crates. Not open blocks, that's a mod. Open crates above each piece of ice here. Leave the center open. From here, we want to place down our corporea funnels up top, similar to what we did over there in the storage system. Again, right here, we're going to place down our corporea sparks, and they're close enough that they should link up to the system, but we'll test that later on. We're going to do repeaters in a line. And same exact thing, we're going to face them the same way. So repeaters along here too. From here, we want to build out 1 block, put a repeater, because remember, over there, this repeater activates that funnel, this one activates that funnel. So you do need a repeater here. Next, we want to do a few things. So first one is we're going to place down, let me grab it real quick, is a mana detector. Then we're going to go back to that inventory. We're going to use a diluted pool right here. Actually, let's get rid of that. We're going to place down a pulse mana spreader, so we are going to control this with redstone. The diluted pool is so it doesn't store too much mana in here. We're going to use a warp lens. And now we come down to this end. We're going to place down a building block here, and we don't have to do anything on this side. So what we're going to do is a force relay here, and a mana detector here. And hopefully that didn't delete. Yeah, okay. You can still see the lens right there. Now, to test this out, we are going to use a button, but we're going to power this thing through a different system, which is the detection system. We'll install it in a little bit. So whenever you click this, it's going to send some mana out, and that will end up being detected by the mana detector, and then that'll send out a redstone signal. We just need some sort of, what am I looking for? An aura band, maybe? Or band. I guess a band will work. We throw the band in here. It's going to fill that up. Alright, so when we click this, you can see the mana pulse is flying out, and it also sent a redstone signal all the way down here. Right? Good enough, but we need that redstone signal to come over here. So we're going to place down a mana detector, and then we're going to link it up with the force relay. So that warping mana warper will hit the force relay. We're going to right click that, come over here, click on the mana detector, and you can see that little particle effect says it linked up. So that means we should be good and get signal on both sides. There we go. I like to put a little extra pulse here just so it gives it a little bit more time. You can adjust these to have a little bit more delay between actually dropping the items, which I actually like to do. So let's do that. We're going to put all these at max setting just so it's not running too fast and you run into problems. So from here, we're going to need a few different things. I don't have a hotbar for that just yet. So first, let's grab our dirt, building block. We want to have something to stop the wool once it's blown this way to not fly off the edge, basically. Let's put down our Spectrolus. It's here. Then we're going to place down a couple blocks here. We need a mana. Actually, we need the diluted mana pool. So grab that. And then we need a daffodil. A regular spark, not a corporeal spark. And then we need a dominant, and we also need a dispersive. So for this point, we're going to place down our daffodil, and you can see its range here. That's what it's normally blowing items through. So whenever you toss something in here, it's going to push it towards there. We are going to use mana to do this, so we're going to need a spreader. Regular mana spreader will work for this one, or you can use a pulse. It just depends on whether you want to control it with redstone. So put that like that. And then we'll put a diluted mana pool behind that. Lose our spark, yeah. Of all the things I would throw down the ice. So we're going to place a spark here, and we'll explain everything kind of at the end as an overview. We're going to make this one dominant, so any mana that the Spectrolus produces is going to come over here and power the daffodil. And that's very important. This needs mana to actually its working zone to be wide enough to push the items from the dropper crates or whatever, or open crates. Next, we want to come over here, do the same exact thing, place down a spark, make this one dominant. Then we're going to use another mana spreader. If you have the Gaia ones, even better. That's probably the best one to have, and we'll probably put down a fabulous mana pool here. Now this one is going to be dispersive, so we're going to put a spark above that and make it dispersive. Now anytime the Spectrolus produces any type of mana, it's going to go into here. Let's see if it's linked up actually. Always double check things and so you don't run into bugs. So it looks like it's set on white wool. It is connected to the mana spreader, and that's going to send the mana up into the fabulous mana pool. Like I said, definitely try to use a Gaia, because this thing does produce enormous amounts of mana. This mana spreader is not going to keep up with the amount that this produces. Finally, we're going to go over to which one was it? Right, the one with the item frames. We're going to come on the inside here, place down all your item frames, just like we did in the storage system over here. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing. We're going to grab our wool, but we have to do it in a very specific order on this one. So this one is going to be from this part right here: white wool, orange, magenta, light blue, yellow wool, lime wool, pink wool, cyan wool. Or not cyan, but gray. That's my bad. And then from there, we want to grab the next set. Now, because we're having the mana hit this and come over here and detect it as a redstone pulse, we do want to start with gray. Or actually, light gray, cyan, purple, blue, brown, green, red, and finally the last one to enter the flower should be the black wool. Now, next, this part is pretty much done. We're going to do the mana detection, or not the mana detection, but the actual wool detection system to make sure that we have the right wool. Because if you throw down a light gray wool, it's going to burn it up. It's See, it's consuming that flour, but it's not actually producing mana because it's not in the right order. So next part of this tutorial is the wool detection system. Alright, so we're back, and this part's completed. We need to build this little part. So what I did off camera to save a bit of time, we did living rock, redstone, with a hopper running into a chest, and above that is your hourglass. Make sure your hourglass is lined up with the redstone. Above that is a corporea funnel with red sand, and it clicked it 3 times, just like we did over here, or actually over here. So it pulls all 5 sand out of the chest. And what this does is when it receives a signal, well, we'll get rid of this redstone block real quick. When these 2 torches are on, it's going to put the red sand inside of here from this chest, and that's going to start the timer so it runs your system. Now we don't want it to do that if we run out of a particular item, which is a certain color of wool. We don't want this to continually run and waste all your wool. So also we do have this. I don't think this really needs to be done on stream, but you can see here, this is what you have to build. 1 torch lined up with the hopper, 1 torch lined up with the funnel. So we're going to shut it off right now by putting that on there, and that will drain the sand out into here. Now to build the detection system, it's pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is, I think I'll just build up, let's go 8 blocks across. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to build this across 6 blocks. I did 5. 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, so the center block is going to be straight redstone. Side blocks, or this one is going to be repeaters. You're going to do that on both sides. So repeaters running into it, like that. We are going to want a block on either side of these. We're going to be placing down corporea interceptors. These are not funnels or the other one. These are interceptors. What they do is intercept a signal. So let's say this repeater or this funnel is requesting green wool. It'll detect if that was completed or not and give off a redstone signal based on that. Make sure you have your redstone sparks, or not sparks, but your corporea sparks above the interceptors so they're linked up to your network. From here we want a piston, and I think for this one we're actually going to, let's do it up down. So we're going to place our redstone here. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to place our piston here, or actually here. Take that back. Here. So whenever it receives a signal that one of these doesn't have the item it's looking for, you're going to need to now I'm getting lost. Anyways, let's fill these up and then we can get back on track. You are going to have to put item frames with the corresponding wool. These ones don't matter in the order as long as you have the right colors up there. Same thing on the other side. Fill all these up like that. Okay, good. So as you can see, it detected that there wasn't a wool on in our system. Need a force relay. And it decided to kick up this right here. So when we take the force relay and we attach it to that redstone block, like so, click that, you can see it's actually up. So we want it here, and we're going to link it up to that. So if there's a missing color now, when this thing fires off again, it's going to push this redstone block up and stop the timer from working. So no white wool in there. Let's make sure we got no white wool over here. So next time it does its thing, when this timer runs down, it should show, yep, there it goes. We didn't have any of a certain kind of wool, or it didn't have the wool that it requested, so it pushed this block up, shut off that, and now you'll have to either manually reset that, or you can get a system built to basically reset it on its own once it detects it has that item back in the system. I prefer the manual way because it allows the wool to build back up, because let's say you run out of white wool, once it detects it has 1 white wool, it's going to start it up for 1 process and then it's just going to shut it back down. So I tend to allow it to shut off and then build everything back up, and then click the manual button to put it back in place. But that's pretty much it for this one. I know it's a way longer tutorial than I'm used to, so at the end I was getting a little confused about what I was even talking about. It took me quite a while to come up with this system, so I hope you guys like it, find it useful, and if you have any questions, comment below. I pretty much respond to every comment I can. I'm not a channel so big that I can't do that. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe.